Hello? Is it on now? Oh yeah, you can hear me now. Morning everyone, or afternoon. I think it's afternoon by the official timing. So basically I was asked to come and give a talk. And I was asked to bring slides. I have no slides. I was asked to bring material, content. And I said, what kind of content can I bring? Should I bring food? Should I bring pictures? Or should I just bring myself? So basically, my name is Izu Ani. I've been in Dubai for nearly 11 and a half years. And I came here 2009 at the end of November. And I came here basically for the first time to open a restaurant. And that restaurant is called La Petite Maison. I'm sure those who are here have heard of it or been there. I hope you had a great time. And that was one of the first restaurants that came here with second, because I have to give respect to Zuma, who was here before us. And we came, it's the same kind of ownership, so they kind of helped us also to settle. So we came basically to give a different way of looking at the industry as a restaurant. So we came to open La Petite Maison. The first Petite Maison was opened in Nice. It's a French Mediterranean food. And it was more concentrated on the product. So it was fresh, it was honest, it was simple. And I love that concept. I got involved in it by helping them make the recipes in London. And they asked me to come to Dubai. I never heard of Dubai before. I have, but I'd never been here before. So it was curious for me to come and work in a different environment with different challenges that I wouldn't have known if I didn't come. So I came 2009, I opened La Petite Maison 2010, August. I still remember it like yesterday. It was very interesting. To come to an environment where you don't know nothing or how the whole structure, the ecosystem of getting your ingredients, because you have when you come to a place, you want to bring all you know and all the recipes, you want to do it exactly as you did it in the environment you created them in. But that's the problem. When you bring the recipe into a different environment, there's so many challenges that you don't even aware of. And to produce it in the same level, on the same consistency, needs a lot of logistics behind it. So we had to bring a lot of stuff in from abroad. And that was a big challenge at the beginning. So what I first did was basically go and see the supply chain, to see the different suppliers. And most of the suppliers, they were all so happy to welcome a new restaurant into the industry, into Dubai. So all of them was very welcoming. They showed me their warehouses. They gave me free samples to try and everything. And that was good, because I always believe the supply chain is a partner to your restaurant. That's my mentality. That's my philosophy of life. It's about partnership. It's not about ownership. You cannot do anything alone. So you have to rely on others. You have to believe in others. You have to inspire others to believe in the journey and the vision that you have. So I took the time to see all the suppliers, and they quite appreciated it, because they weren't used to chefs or owners of restaurants to come and see them. They normally just send the samples, try them, and away you go. So that's the first thing I did, to meet them. And then as the restaurant was starting to get built, everything started to fall in place. I started hiring, finding the talent, the understand the food culture, because food is basically, it's a story about the culture, where it's from. It's telling the history, it's telling the roots, it's telling the environment of the country. So this is what I had to basically transmit or share with the people that are going to work with me, my partners. I always say nobody works for me, everyone works with me, because that's the mentality you have to be able to achieve anything. Because if you think that you can achieve it alone, that's where you start to understand that that's not possible. So, but to do that, I was working with people that were in a different culture. So most of you know the French culture. It's very assured. It feels a bit empowered. It feels that they know everything and you don't know nothing. Especially if you've ever been to Paris, you go there, you sit down, and you put your hand up very shyly, and you say, can I order something? They go, They kind of look at you with a bit of, what are you doing here? And you're trying to tell them, I'm here to pay, to give you money, but they don't really mind. They don't really care. But anyway, the French culture is a bit, it feels that it tells people what to do. I lived there for many years for my sins, but that's the kind of person I am. I love to get out my comfort zone. I left London when I was 19 to go to France to live. Why? I just wanted to discover something different. This is the kind of things that I always say to people. To be able to extend your ability, you need to take yourself away from what you know into a different location or different position. It helps you to discover your capacity, what you can do more. But anyway, I came here, so I had to basically transmit this culture, the French culture, to those who are not from that or even don't understand it as such. Because I believe food has to represent that culture. You have to understand it. Because every part of the experience of eating is telling you how they live or how the society is. One thing I realized, I'm sure you know the French baguette. The French baguette is like it's one of the most held privileges. It's simple, but it's so deep in the culture of the French. Most French people, they will go in the morning, they'll go and get a baguette. They'll probably get two because they'll eat one before they get home. And that is a staple. And then when they go home, they will take one baguette and they will take that home, fresh baguette. So this is one of the things that I made sure that I had to make sure that we did it right, the baguette. I know you say it's so simple, but the small things, the details are in the small things. And if you get that right, you're now taking people on the right journey. People believe where you're taking them. So people know, if I ask you French food, you go baguette, you go cordon bleu, you go so many different things that you can recognize. So these are the things that it has to be in the front line. So the bread is a staple in the French culture. So what did I do? I had to find the right flour. I had to make sure I had the right oven. And with things like bread, baguette, it changes. Why does it change? You probably say it's 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, yeast. And voila, I make bread. With four ingredients, I can make a very fantastic bread. I can make a very bad bread. How does that work? Yeah, in France, in Paris, I lived a little bit in Paris. There's always boulangeries everywhere. There's always a queue in one boulangerie, and there's no queue in the other. Because the French, they know where to get the right bread. But it's the same ingredients, the same 4 ingredients: flour, water, yeast, salt. But the difference is, from making a good baguette and excuse my language, a bad baguette, I have to now be PC, is the person that makes a good baguette basically looks at the water. Water carries the energy. Do you know that human beings are made out of 60% water? You might ask me, why do I need to know that? It's a part of me understanding what I'm doing as a chef, as a cook. Because water carries the energy, carries the ingredients that brings everything together. And it carries the energy, your vibe. Because whenever you get invited to someone's home, yeah, the food always tastes fantastic. Why? It's because they put love in it. They ask you to come. They're excited to see you. They're happy to see you. So whatever they touch, that happiness is going to touch the food. And this is what I always explain to my team, to my partners, that we don't make just food. We make happiness. Because by someone tasting something tasty, it changes their mood. It changes the way they look at things. It changes the perception they see things. And that's the privilege that I have as a chef. I can change someone the way they're feeling by giving them something very tasty. That's how I look at it. I don't look at, I go into chop, I transform. No, I go into make someone happy because I'm inviting you into my home. It's my house. So I had to get that kind of philosophy into the people I'm working with, because this is where I cook, and this is where I want people to feel when they come to my restaurant. They're coming into my home. And that's the big difference. And it comes from water. It comes from us. So if the chef is not feeling happy, He's not going to transmit that vibe, the energy, the flavor into that food. He's not going to touch that ingredient and look at it and say, wow, this is beautiful. He's not going to look at it that he's going to transform something, into something, an art form which someone's going to appreciate. It is a philosophy when you touch things. I always say to my chefs, you must always speak to the tomato. You must always say hello to the carrot. And people might think I'm mad in saying that. Not really. Because to be able to use something, you need to understand it. To be able to transport it into one place to another, you need to know where it's from. To be able to combine it with something else, you need to know how it's formed. And that is something that a lot of people do not understand. That's why the person that makes a great baguette, he looks at the water. He looks at how the yeast. Yeast is a living organism. It's something natural, something organic, like we are. We are bacteria. Yeah. So basically, what he does when he uses yeast, he makes an organic yeast, which is called a sourdough, which is called a mother dough, which is basically bacteria in the air that goes into the water that feeds off the flour to create another living organism. And that is what you use as a yeast to create bread. And then salt. A lot of salt has a lot of chemicals. It's not clean. So he would choose the cleanest salt to put in his bread. I mean, all these ingredients, the person that makes that great baguette, he looks at it intensely, and you get something different. The person that just makes a normal baguette just puts it together, mixes it, and say, voila. But also, you got to understand, the person that makes a good baguette, when you eat that baguette, it feels good, because he's fermented the yeast in a way that it allows you to digest it. It allows you not to reject it, because the other side, it's done so quickly where your body has to now do the fermentation. That's why you feel bloated. And that's how a lot of people now are getting allergies or rejection to gluten, because a lot of it, your body said, I can't digest it, I can't break it down. So it needs to be done outside. And that's why a good person that makes a good baguette understands that. So anyway, going back to opening La Petite Maison. So I had to basically get that fundamental element of the French culture, the baguette, right. That's the first thing. And I had to transmit the knowledge of understanding the French culture to everybody. So how do I do that? I bring people that understand it, that can help me, because I can't do it alone. So I brought people that understand that culture. So we built it together. We put it together as a unit. It was hard. It was difficult. There was challenges. And as well, I love it. When I first came here, all the suppliers sent me the samples. And you know, all the suppliers always send you the best, the top. They send it to you. Of course, they're going to send you the best. But one supplier, he made me laugh. Actually, he surprised me. He sent me the worst thing he could ever send me. Because he said to me, this is what I said, I will send you later on. Why do I send you the best now? I send you what I can send you. Of course, I had to kick him out of the kitchen. But that's what I like about it. You always face challenges that people don't understand where you want to take it. And yes, it is a bit of a time process that you need to give to transmit your passion to people. And all these elements, will never come together all at once. It's like I always say to everybody, if you go to the gym and expect a result today, and you say, oh, it's not working, you go again, and you don't see the change, and you think, oh, I will give up. It's not about you doing it once and expecting the result to be different. It's about you doing it constantly, giving it that attention. It's all about you focusing. It's about you persisting and believing. The thing is, when we came here, there was a lot of different restaurants, But we had to believe that we're here to basically exchange something. We couldn't focus on others. We had to focus on what we did. Because more time you spend focusing on somebody else's achievements or someone else's, what they're doing, you're not focusing on what you can do, how you can do it better. And this is the key to where you want to step forward, is basically keep focus on you. I always say to everybody, before you can love somebody, that's what the French always say, before you can love somebody, you have to love yourself. Pour savoir aimer, il faut s'aimer. And this is the key. If you can't love yourself, you won't know the structure, how to love someone else or how to give somebody else a love. If you can't enjoy good food, you don't know how to give someone else good food. Everything stems from us. It's like when you get into a plane, the first thing people say, the announcers, put your mask on before you put someone else's. That is a secret, because it's all about you making sure you're good before you can help somebody else. And this is the thing about what I do. I try to eat my own philosophy. I eat the right way. I like my food to be clean. I don't like my food to be contrived. I don't like my food to be basically covered. I like it to be what it is, what it's supposed to be. It's about the honesty. It's not about the transformation. It's not about me showing you what I can do with vegetables or with meat or whatever it is. It's about me understanding it to be able to explain it to you. And that's what I believe when I open up a restaurant. So we opened La Petite Maison. We became very successful, alhamdulillah. But then, you could say, continue doing the same thing. This is something I will focus on in my life. I love to put myself in a position that really challenges me to see what else I can do. Is there more? And that's the thing. How do you do more? Is by stepping out the comfort zone. Is by putting yourself in the places that you don't believe that you should be. But that's great, because you find different answers. You find different questions. So these are the things that I always push myself. So 2 years later, I decided to open La Serre. La Serre, it was in Boulevard, Iman Boulevard. That area was a bit suspicious, dead, not alive. And people say, why are you doing it, Izu? Stay at La Petite Maison, enjoy life there, put your feet up, you're successful. No. I always believe that if you don't keep moving forward, you will go backwards. Why is that? Because life is moving forward. And if you're not moving forward life, that means you're being left behind. And I always give this illustration. Who has a Nokia phone here today? Nobody. And I remember when I was young, everyone had a Nokia. I mean, I'm sure everyone remembered Nokia. But today, you pick your phone, where's Nokia? Because they stopped moving forward. And that is life. Because you will always be left behind. Because if you have 100 dirhams today, that 100 dirhams will buy you X. In a year's time, that 100 dirhams will buy you less X. Because you have to invest that. You have to invest it for it to buy you an equivalent amount. That's why you have to keep investing in yourself, investing in how you think to give you more. More doesn't mean a financial gain. It just means opening your eyes to different things. This is why I love kids. That's why I have 2 kids, which I love speaking to them, because they think differently. They look at life without any apprehension, without any restriction. They discover. They look at the bottle and they make something from it. And that's why I always want to stay like a kid. I want to see life with a big eye. Always curious. Yeah, taking a risk. That's what it's all about. It gives you that purpose. It gives you that get up and you can make it happen. But it starts with you. You have to motivate yourself. It's like I look at this TikTok and this Instagram. It goes, there's somebody training and it goes, nobody's coming. Nobody's going to wake you up. But that is so true. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody can do it for you. And this is what has always been a part of my makeup as a person. I've never left someone to do it for me. I've never waited for someone to come and get me. Because success is all about you moving forward every step of the way. How you perceive success, of course, it's perception. Success doesn't mean monetary. And this is what I always say to people. If you concentrate on yourself, asking yourself some serious questions and finding some answers. But you have to find a way to do that. I love cycling. I love waking up in the morning at 4 in the morning and going cycling. And people say, why? Why not? It's all about you putting yourself in doing things that people are not prepared to do. And this is what I've always done. I've always done things that people that think to me I'm crazy. I love being crazy. Being crazy makes me dream about life, makes me think more, makes me think outside my comfort zone. And that craziness will bring something else. Only you can see that if you keep that eyes. So I've opened up how many restaurants in Dubai? Okay, I'm going to quickly name them. Lasser, I have Gaia now, Karine, I have an online platform which does different types of cuisines, which has got about 20 brands. I'm opening up my first Arabic restaurant in the next few months. It's called Alaya. I've got restaurants around Qatar, Monaco, London. But anyway, why am I naming these restaurants? Because all these restaurants are different. They're different concepts, different cultural stems. And this is what I like to do. I like to do something totally different, out my comfort zone. One thing I always say to people, we all appreciate, everyone sees what I've done, but nobody sees what I do without seeing it. In a sense, we all appreciate the things we see, but we never appreciate the things we don't see. And that is a fact, that if we concentrate on the things we see, we'll not have the root to look after. How do I say that? Why do I say that? Because when you see a beautiful flower, you appreciate the flower, but you never say, what a beautiful root. That is the point that I always say to people. Concentrate on the things that are unseen. So a lot of times, I do a lot of things which nobody sees because it strengthens me. So people see the restaurants and see, wow, beautiful, he's done it wonderfully. But you have to spend time in doing things that no one sees. And that is the secret, because all of us likes to have these accolades or congratulations, but the things that are unseen are never celebrated. But you have to believe that is your route to producing what you want. So it's all about self-motivation. Yeah, nobody can do it for you. And this is what I've always done in my life, because the day that you wait for someone to wake you up is the day that you're going to be late. So this is what I always believe. Put your alarm clock on or not, but you have to own that. I like what Will Smith says. It's about fault versus responsibility. The responsibility for you is you. It's not about you finding whose fault it is. Someone can give you an advice. Someone can tell you to do something, and you can say, oh, I blame him. But you chose to listen. You chose to hear. You chose to entertain. So that choice, you should own it. And this is why I like to, if I do something, it's my choice. Anything happen around me, I put myself in that position. It gives you that greater power. I'm a great believer. Freedom comes with basically discipline. If you don't discipline yourself, you don't have that. You always have that want. We all want the new things. We all want this. But if you say no to it, you have that freedom. You have that choice. And that's what I love about it. It's that about you talking to yourself and telling yourself, it's my responsibility to listen. It's my responsibility to do everything. It's my responsibility to do what I need to do. So making restaurants is beautiful. It's fun. But there's a lot of work behind it nobody sees. And sometimes nobody thanks you for it. But that's where you believe in what you're doing and what you're transferring, what you're sharing with people. And that is that comes from you training your mindset. And it's about you allowing yourself to be positive every single day. I always believe you wake up in the morning, you have two choices: to be positive or to be negative. You have things to upset you, you have things to make you happy. It's up to you where you put your energy. The things that upset you or the things that make you happy. It might be the minute little thing, but explore that. It makes the day even better. And that's what I always say. Yeah, if you're thankful about what you have, there's more to have. Thank you very much.